Well, it's a beautiful autumn day. And, oh yeah, sorry, Rosie said it's winter, and she's right. It's a beautiful winter day. And she's been out cleaning up. This was a sodden cesspool mess. She's cleaned it up, she's got me inspired, so today is a permablitz. G'day folks, Andy here from McDowell Manor. We've just topped up the water levels in the aquaponics. That was an easy job, really. It's just turn the tap on. The building site is all irrigated. Well, all the yard's irrigated. But I've noticed today I'm out going to trim up these bananas. And I've noticed that some of the irrigation jet outlets are either blocked or just not functioning. And to fix that up, then we'll trim up these bananas. We'll reduce the amount of leaves on them down to 5. So with these irrigation kits, you can see I do have a good supply of bits. And any of you that have used these little kits will know that you never seem to have the right bit. So I tend to buy lots in bulk. So I'm going to change a few over, which will involve the use of this bit, which is a goof plug. So I plugged the bit in where I don't want it, just down there. I'm going to take that out and plug the hole up. The old bit that plugged in, and there's the new plug to get rid of that hole. You can see I've markedly reduced the number, well hopefully you can by the debris, the number of leaves on the banana trees. I thought I'd show you the back of the swale. Don't often get a chance to show this. So the drain comes out there, runs down here past my feet. You can see where I've built up the edge with rock. And it runs down there so it swerves around. And that's the back of that hedge that you normally see from the other side. You can see that's just a big water pit, and there's a lot of rock under there. So the water permeates down and gradually distributes. Now the vetiver grass has big roots. So under the ground that acts like a dam wall, which is really cool because a lot of that water that used to be wasted is now reused. That's the front side of the hedge where we were just looking, and from this angle you can certainly see the reduced. So we're down to about 5 leaves on each plant, which is what you aim for. Yeah, they're all working a lot better now. We've got the mulch down in the form of banana leaves. The sprinklers are fixed up, laughing. So that's an arrowroot. It's growing for its corms, which you can eat kind of like a sweet potato, or you can make flour out of it. I prefer to eat it, I like it. So it's going to go in grow bags up the top of this big wall. So you can see there's a dragon fruit up one end. I'll have an arrowroot, and then I've still got one more that's irrigated. I'm not sure what I'll put in there. It's got to be stuff that you don't need to get to all the time. This poor old coffee plant, as you can see, is really doing no good in this pot. I suspect it's because it doesn't get any love, it doesn't get watered. So I'm going to move it up. It doesn't need a lot of constant looking after. So I'm going to put it in the 3rd grow bag. It should suit it under the shade. It's a bit of a rainforest, low down in the rainforest plant, so that way the irrigation will be back in it and we'll keep him watered at the same time, so it should solve a couple of problems. Now another big issue for it, and it's an issue with all my plants, is what happens is the bloody ants, you probably see them down there, the ants get in and they farm scale on the leaves of the plant. And aphids, they take the sap. Now the problem is, of course, even when I kill them, because you've got the leaky sap, it's a real haven for mould. So with a bit of luck, we might get several problems literally solved in a single bound. Now the reason I mention the ants is there's two things that will help that. One is moisture, because they hate wet soil. So I'll keep the pot moist. It's irrigated, remember? Now the other one I heard yesterday, I want to see if it's a wives' tale or not. is cinnamon. So I'm going to throw a heap of cinnamon. Apparently ants hate cinnamon. So I'll throw a heap in the bottom of that and we'll see what happens, see if it works. I'll do a follow-up clip on the great cinnamon experiment and we'll see what happens, eh? I'll move the dragon fruit forward so it can hang down the wall. That way the fruit won't touch the ground. That's the idea there. There's your coffee tree in its bag. And your arrowroot corms are in as well. Right, there's another job done. Eventually I think I'll move the other coffee. When I've proved that this one goes well, I'm going to move the other coffee tree because I've got two of them. I'll put it in a big bag up here as well where it's irrigated and in the shade. It's tromboncino. I use it as a zucchini. I know you can let the fruit get riper and then it tastes like pumpkin, but I don't like it that way. I really like it as a zucchini. And you can see it produces a bumper crop. It's a ripper, so I try to plant that every year. We'll be doing, look at the size of that one. We'll be doing zucchini soup tomorrow night. This is the first time I've tried garlic in a big pot properly. That's elephant garlic. It's actually doing quite well, as you can see. The other thing I noticed was I had a little one from the shop, which is right there. I'll get in the sun so hopefully you can see it. It's coming up as well. And that's a little one that I had left over I got from Valerie from Brisbane Local Food. Thanks, Valerie. That one tiny little corm, I shoved it in almost as a joke, but it's certainly going all right. Oh, that's the avocado that I got from the worm farm. It's doing quite well in a pot there. And I'll show you something else on that. Another two avocados that I rescued out of the worm farm. And believe it or not, there's one there. And the one that's easier to see there, just about to go into leaf. I rescued them. So I've got 5 avocados by accident out the worm farm. And over here is another 3 mangoes that I rescued out the worm farm. So I think mangoes I'll probably do a giveaway on to people I know. That's a peanut butter. No, it's not. I lie. It's a guava dew. The reason they're so dirty is because they're right beside the quails. So I pour the dirty quail water in there with the poo and stuff. And you can see it really does the plants a favour. They don't look terribly neat, but I don't care so long as they're growing good. Japanese quail are doing quite well. Now you can see they're nice quiet birds. There's a few more coming today. 2 males that a friend, Barb, doesn't want. So I'll put them in the bottom cage. I'm actually going to harvest some of the spare boys soon because I want to. There's too many birds in here. I want to break them into 2 groups, so that'll be easy. Now what's not happening, and I'm really surprised, is I was going to show you some Californian quails. I don't recommend them. So they're very pretty. They're about the same size as the jumbo japs, but they're absolute maniacs. And they haven't settled in all the time that I've been here, that I've had them, and I've had them at least 6 months now. There they go. So, sorry, I'll lock that up because Californians can actually fly where the jumbo japs only jump. But you can see how skittish, they're just crazy skittish. Now whether that's because I didn't raise them, and most of the other birds I did raise and they're really used to me, but I think they're just a much more skittish bird, and the fact that they can fly, so you've got to worry about them getting out, is just ridiculous. So if you live in Brisbane, don't bother folks. Sweet potato that I grow in buckets. I put one in a big grow bag that I got from Vivian, who's also from Brisbane Local Food. Put it in a grow bag out the front. Well, I got over 3 kilos of sweet potato out of that. That was fantastic. So I'll be growing that one again. Rosie's doing the hard yards here. I got the bludgy jobs. She's got that end one there is warrigal greens. That's katuk or sweet leaf, which is I use a lot of that leaf. So what she's going to do is she's emptied out. You can see most of that bed. It had an elderberry in it that was just far too invasive. So it's bit the bullet. That's the roots just over there. And she's going to move some of the citrus that are currently in grow bags. That'll free a few of them up, and probably the citrus will do better. And I'll also hit them with the as you can see, they have exactly the same problem, where the ants just get in here, they harvest the scale, and I get sooty mould everywhere. It's a real pain. So we'll see if it's true. Do ants really hate cinnamon as much as the old tales tell us? You can see there's a sprinkler there, and that's the end of a sprinkler, and unfortunately that's broken off, so I'll pull that a little bit out and we'll set up a new sprinkler. I think I'll put it down low instead of up high. Got to cut that pomegranate back too. I'll get rid of a lot of the nonsense stuff. I'll prune it all out of it while it's winter. Happy with that. Filled the space. Like I say, I've got to get the tree man's going to take a whole lot of that big hula out above the chook house for numerous reasons. It's annoying the hell out of the lady next door. It's annoying the hell out of me. But it does provide, I'll put the other coffee tree up there after the tree man comes and does all his hard work, because I can slide those bags out the way at the moment with very little effort, so that's good. Don't want to clutter it up before he gets here. I'll clutter it up after he's gone. It's been trimming, so we'll run all that through the mulcher, and that'll get thrown onto a garden somewhere, used as mulch. Well, the pile of sticks is gone. Do you want to see where it is? It there. And there's another lot here near the mango. I'll show you where that is exactly. The mango on the footpath. And the wall's actually split level there. There's a little corner garden you can't see from mango. But that really used to be very weedy. I've managed to smother most of those. It's got a bit of turmeric in there too, believe it or not. But what's growing in there, and I'll just have to do a lean back to show you, is a moringa. So it's actually time. I'm going to take the top out of most of that moringa. We'll eat the greener leaves, and that'll encourage it in spring to thicken up, because it's certainly long and leggy, isn't it? Wow. The Aussies managed to get that keffia lime in. We have an awful habit of killing them. She buries them in passion fruit, which is a bit unfortunate. She's put back, can't remember what sort of spinach that one is. It's one of the spinach families, Malabar or something. I don't know. Okinawan, one of them. Rosie's slowly eating away through the ruby grapefruits. It's her favourite fruit, she reckons. She gets up every morning and has a ruby grapefruit. So that's great. How good is that, eh? There's still plenty of citrus on, certainly on the lime. Lemonade we've plundered, but it's still got some. The lemon in the corner's still got some. It's the middle of winter, which is really making me wonder why on earth this peach tree is in flower. I thought it was supposed to flower in, well, we normally get peaches in December. So if you allow for it, you know, it does take a long time for it to turn from flower to peach. I wouldn't expect it already in June. There's nothing weird about the weather these days, folks, aside from the fact that we've had 2 floods and it's still continuing to be damp. And whilst it started a lovely winter day, in fact so nice I thought it was spring, yeah, I'm getting rained on now. I better take the washing in. So one of my viewers, Mrs. Dillybrath, or Grath, I can't remember quite which one, but what a lovely woman. She's dropped over some chocos that were sprouting for me. And then she's very nicely put it in a plastic bag on straw, so it probably stays a bit dampish. But she's poked a hole in the plastic so it'd still be able to breathe. I've found a place for 2 of those. One of those is going in the bed near, not too far from the kaffir lime that I showed you. Another one I'm going to put in a very big pot up on that area where the behind the chook shed, where the coffee tree got moved to. I've got one down the other back corner, so I've placed at least 2 of them already. The other place I'm thinking I might put one is out near that moringa. But just, yeah, thanks very much for that. I really appreciate it. It's one of the things I do love about the gardening community. It really is a lovely community. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed spending the day at my house. It's certainly been a big day. Admittedly, I don't jump out of bed till Rosie's been harvesting compost. To the crack of 9:30 I jumped out today. Geez, I've worked hard. I tell you, I'm buggered. I'm going to go and have a beer. That's the end of me. But yeah, there you go. That's been the day around the tiny farm. All right, folks, you have a good one, eh? Arrowroot.